What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co host, Josh.
Hey everybody.
And welcome back to another episode of the FilmBros podcast. Josh, today we're going to start off the show with rivalry. Or with some rivalry, okay? This episode is gonna start off with a little hint of rivalry, okay? When movies come out, right? And you'll get a huge fan base. I mean, one of the biggest rivalries that we could always think of, like film wise, I think, is always gonna be like Marvel versus DC. Right, that's what that'll always be like a big rivalry, right? Right now, I think a rivalry is like the DCU or Zack Snyder's DCU versus James Gunn's DCU. I mean, there's internal fighting as well, right? There's not just on the outside, but there's some implosions happening when it comes to the world of rivalry as well. And then last example that we could possibly use is the whole PlayStation Xbox thing, even though PlayStation is completely obliterating Xbox at this point. I mean, now all of a sudden we want to kumbaya and have a good time. Now the Xbox is losing, but we're not. That's not what's going to happen nowadays. And now one of the newest rivalries that have birthed into existence, coming from Andrew Schultz himself. We've seen that Comic-Con clip where he decided to basically call out the crew of Mortal Kombat, right? Because he's on Street Fighter. He called out the crew of Mortal Kombat, saying that they didn't show up to the Comic-Con, and they don't give a shit about him, and blah 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 blah. And apparently, and you know what? I gotta say real quick, okay? The person that answered is probably one of the most hated Mortal Kombat characters from the first one. But Louis Tan himself decided to respond to what Andrew Schultz did to him on the stage. Do you remember that day? Do you remember when we watched that clip?
Yeah.
When Andrew Schultz was out there basically
right.
just bragging and boasting, saying that we're here and they're not, and all that good stuff. I think the quote's right here. Right here. Andrew Schultz said this on the stage. We're not the only game that appreciates your patronage. There's another game out there that they also flew around the world to be here because they appreciate you. So give it up to the whole cast of Mortal Kombat 2, Schultz said at the time, calling the crew on stage. And then at the very end, he said, just kidding. They didn't come. They don't care about you. They only care about money. Okay, we care about money and you. And then that's what started the whole Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat beef. And it was been quiet ever since then. But Louis Tan, the Cole from the first Mortal Kombat movie, he basically asked about the whole rivalry and if that's going to lead up to anything. And he basically says this: Andrew Schultz is the last person who should be talking shit on stage. Tan said with a grin, obviously not a fighter, not really an actor. Well, yeah, we all heard it. And when asked about the whole rivalry, Tan says, I mean, yeah, let's go, bro. Saying, I love a good rivalry. And saying, I don't climb over otters to get ahead. Both are huge, and he's hoping that that is playful and that both movies succeed. So very nice way to put it. When Andrew the comedian decided to take it to like a fighty, jokey place, which we already kind of know is something that usually
he's gonna do.
Yeah, he usually does that quite a bit, honestly, quite a bit. So I mean, what do you think about that?
I think, yeah, I would say, yeah, he's probably the last one to be talking shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's a comedian. He's not the guy. He's not him. Like if this was 50 Cent or somebody like that, I would probably understand. But Andrew Schultz, of all people, like I understand he's probably just trying to generate hype, but at the same time, of all people, him really? Even the wrestlers in this movie that are like, paid to do that kinds of shit, I would expect them to do this shit.
I would think so too.
Yeah, no, it is. It just doesn't make sense to me because, like I said, of all people, and Cole, the actor for the first Mortal Kombat, he gets some leeway. You know what I mean? Because he did his shit in the first one, but
we all know who
the second
he
one
is.
The second one is fucking. They're ditching the fuck out of him. So who cares? But that's the thing. Cole doesn't exactly have room to talk either because I mean he was in the first one, but he was also a no name character. like, or an original character for the film.
He
So
might be the main one to speak because he didn't actually have a character. He's kind of like just doing it for the love of the game. He's just literally like, unless they change
yeah,
him into something different now. But I mean, for the most part,
I
it got to
mean,
be for the
he's
love of the
getting the
game, right?
back seat. That's the thing. That's the change up. He's getting the back seat to Johnny Cage, which I mean should have been the case in the first one, but I guess we learn from our mistakes here at Mortal Kombat.
So, do we feel a rivalry heating up? Are we feeling the age of Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat? Like, if you like, I know you're a Mortal Kombat fan a little bit more. I don't really see you
Right.
play a lot of Street Fighter, but like, let's say Mortal Kombat don't tickle your pickle, right? Let's say it don't fancy you, right?
Mhm.
But Street Fighter do. Is that gonna like put you off Mortal Kombat for the rest of your life? You gonna be playing Street Fighter for the rest of your life?
No, no, because I'm not a big fan of Street Fighter.
Hadouken!
Yeah, no, not a big fan. Whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, you're not a
Um,
fan of the Hadouken. You're not a fan
no,
of that.
no. I'm just not a fan of that shit, man. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know why I can't get behind that game. I've played multiple versions of it. I just can't get behind it.
I think you like the brutality of Mortal Kombat. I think where like
Probably.
Street Fighter kind of keeps it like PG-13. Obviously you got the punches and whatnot. Mortal Kombat gives you that hard R, or it's a pause, or like they just basically it's blood and guts and everything is all over the place. So I mean I understand the difference. I personally don't like fighter games like that all the time. So I mean, either or for me. But I probably root for the one that Andrew Schultz is not on the team. So Mortal Kombat got my ticket probably.
Right. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, man. I guess if that's what we're doing.
Fair deal. Fair deal. Let us know what you guys think. Moving on though, Josh, we're getting a live action Tinkerbell series. Now I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, I don't even like that bit. No, I know you're not a Tinkerbell fan, but Tinkerbell has been around for years. She's decades even. She's Peter Pan's like right hand woman. And we're actually getting a series. We've had like these little Tinkerbell, like early 2000 Tinkerbell show or movies, or little like straight to DVD movies or whatever like that for like the
Yeah, yeah.
longest time.
I remember those.
You remember those? Yeah, seeing those. Our little sister used to watch those. What's like a good way to say it where it's like not obsessive but very aggressive? You know what I mean? She would
I
pop
don't think
those.
there's any way else to put that.
No, okay, well, yeah. Either which way, we would these would come out quite a bit, and it seems like this is kind of like the direction we're heading. If you think about it, we did talk about like the new CEO that's going to be kind of taking over. Pretty soon, Bob Iger is going to be out the door again, and hopefully not returning if there's no dumpster fire and all that stuff. Josh D'Amaro is basically going to be the new guy in charge, greenlighting all this stuff. I don't know if he's still following Chapek's lead, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I just want to keep adding more IP or more sequels to the IP," or if we're gonna get more original stuff. And it kind of seemed like we're taking risks here with a little Tinkerbell TV series called Tink, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't
Would you
know
deem
how
it like
much
a
more creative.
risky? Like I guess the best way to put it is like, do you deem it like a risky kind of IP where it's like, he's trying to test out the waters, or is this kind of like a safe IP where you're gonna like watch it and be like, oh yeah, it's Tinkerbell. Like I mean, if it doesn't make it, it's still on Disney and it's fine, you know?
I don't know. That's the thing. Okay, we know Tinkerbell because of her association with Peter Pan. So will it be an issue if there's no Peter Pan? Or is this gonna be her in her fairy world or doing fairy things? Like, I guess that part's fine. It just depends on what kind of show it is. If it's an animated kid show, it might bang. If it's like Tinkerbell meets Euphoria, you know what I mean? That might be a little different.
I don't want to see Tinkerbell meets Euphoria on Disney Plus. I don't want to see that. I don't think I please take that show and throw it in the dumpster. We don't need that. I don't. Man,
I'm just throwing out the options.
did
They
you see
probably
that
talk
Labyrinth?
about this in the right.
Did you see that Labyrinth is like talking shit about Euphoria too? I
What?
kind of wanted to bring that up, but I was like, man, at the same time,
I
I
haven't
don't
seen
think
that.
it's
No.
big news. But like he was like, I'm done with the music industry, and he's like, also fuck the crew over there at Euphoria too. And I was like, what? Why'd you say
What
fuck
they
them
say fuck
for?
me for?
Yeah, like I wonder what happened. And that's kind of like the. I thought Euphoria was kind of like the show that gave him his aesthetic, right? Like it basically was like that show was what made Labyrinth who he was. I think so. I mean, I just found it weird, but you brought it up, so it's weird.
I brought it up. What?
Yeah, yeah, you brought it up.
I didn't even know he said that shit. That's
Yeah,
such a drive-by thing to
you
say.
said Tinkerbell and plus Euphoria, and which unraveled to the conversation we just had. I don't know.
I don't know if I don't look. I don't know if those things equal, but I do know for sure that I don't care for a Tink show. This ain't for my demographic anymore.
It's not for my demographic either. It's just more of a like I said. I mean, to make it aware for those that you listen to us and watch Tink. Yeah, if you want us to watch it and review it, let us know. But for the most part, this isn't our demographic. But I like to see as like what projects are being put out because as soon as Bob Iger came in, what did we start like after Bob Chapek? What did we start hearing? Frozen 4. Toy Story 5. We started hearing
Sequels.
like all these sequels and all that stuff, right? And now that Josh D'Amaro's kind of coming in, now we're hearing what I would kind of deem it to be a little bit more of a risk IP, right? Like Tinkerbell hasn't been around in the public eye in a long time. Like everybody does know Tinkerbell for the most part, but she's not been like like how you said, there's no Tinkerbell without Peter Pan, right? Like Tinkerbell kind of went on these little early 2000 run on just DVDs, straight to DVD animated movies. And why is that? Because not a lot of people really cared for Tinkerbell on her own with a bunch of fairy prince, other fairies and blah 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 blah.
Right, right.
So I mean, for the most part, this kind of shows me that like he is taking that. First, he's dusting off very old. I guess very old characters and whatnot, and he's gonna basically try to rework them for a modern time, and that I can deal with that better than Toy Story 6. Am I right?
Yeah.
Even though we did hear that Incredibles 3 is also going to be coming out probably by like January 2027 or something like that. So
Yeah.
But I mean, Disney's rolling. Disney's rolling. Bob Chapek's heading out. Kathleen Kennedy's heading out. We're getting new leadership from, over there in Disney side, over there at Lucasfilm side. So, this might be an era for success. Well, maybe the time of woke Disney and the time of woke Kathleen Star Wars is over. Maybe we're in a new era where like everything just is normal.
I couldn't have put that any better myself, man. I mean, I guess if we're willing to try everything, we're just gonna wait to see if something sticks.
All right, all right. Even though there's bombs in the back, like we're having peace and harmony right here, but there's bombs in the background with Paramount and WBD right now. Like they're over there, they're trying to figure shit out, banging it out.
Disney's
right
just like, this ain't my war. I got all the shit already. Like,
but
there's no way.
it's butterflies and rainbows and birds are singing over there at Disney right now. So we'll see what happens at least. Moving on though. Aang, the Legend of Aang, and we've talked about this before. It's sad news, and this is something that we kind of touched up on, but didn't really 100%. But now that we're getting a little bit more news out of it, it's better to kind of talk about it now. But the director from Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, which is supposed to be a animated adult version of Aang, which we basically see him and the crew as they're grown up and see what kind of adventures they kind of get into, and this is supposed to lead up obviously to the events of Korra, and then we're supposed to get an animated show after that where we get the new Avatar, which is supposed to be like an earthbender or something like that, right? But in the middle of all this hullabaloo and making this film, during the making of this film, Paramount decided to say, hey, we're not making this a theatrical release, but we're going to make it a Paramount Plus release. Good luck trying to navigate that shit. And they said, hey, we're going to go ahead and put this out on Paramount Plus. The director has been outspoken about this movie, saying that, hey, we're done with production. It's a great film, and they should actually see the big screen. We don't know why it's being brought down. As especially in the time where Paramount basically said we're putting out 30 films a year in movie theaters with the absorption of WBD, right? And the first act of closing the deal, we hear, hey, we're actually taking a movie away from theaters and we're actually going to put it on streaming. Um, Now that we have time to kind of sit down and actually marinate and talk about this in full, for me, Aang's never been a big screen guy, right? Like he's never been somebody to grace the silver screen and say, "Hey, we're gonna buy tickets for this thing," right? I think Avatar kind of needs a little bit of build up time, kind of like that one show. What is it? And I've seen it in the theaters. You've seen it in the theaters too. It's the Demon Slayer, right? Demon Slayer. I think Aang needs a little bit of time on the TV screen, have audiences build trust with them again, and I think just like that show, we can eventually start putting maybe some movies on the big screen. I don't think Aang is a big character to the point where you could just kind of throw a live action, just a regular animated movie. If the movie was live action and they were taking another stab at it, I'd probably say yeah, obviously put it on box office and kind of take your chances with it. But an animated Aang movie, I mean, I understand, but then again, the fucking guy from Skydance did say we are putting out 30 movies a year. So for you to say that and then take this movie and be like, hey, well, I don't think we should put this one in theaters, I totally agree with you. But I didn't say we're putting 30 movies in theaters for a whole year, right?
I don't know, bro. I disagree. I think that this movie should see the theater, the box office, because it's been anticipated for so long. We've been waiting for this forever. You
The
have been waiting for
fans,
this forever.
well, yeah, the fans, and like I said, I'd appreciate it, but realistically, how much money will it really make back with the general audiences?
See, this is probably the shit that they thought about when they were like, FNAF? The same day release? Box office and Peacock? And then it still made its budget back?
But FNAF
You
is
have no
different.
hope for the fans.
FNAF has been in the pulse line up until that point. Aang has not. And if anything, I feel like Korra kind of ruined the reputation of The Last Airbender in a little.
Oh my god!
I'm just the messenger. You don't shoot the messenger.
You're wrong. You're wrong, and you're stupid.
You listen to the messenger. You don't fucking shoot the messenger. Korra kind of put people off for like a good chunk of time, and then think about this. M. Night Shyamalan decided to take a stab at it, right? And
we don't talk about that movie for a reason.
We don't talk about that. But we need to until we learn from our past mistakes. So, so we got that. We got the Korra thing and everything. A lot of people just, they soured up when it came to Aang. And then Netflix decided to put out a show. And don't get me wrong, some people really liked it, but for the most part, it got fucked up. You gotta understand, like it's not the same as the show. And so a lot of people kind of went off of it, and now it's going to end at 3 seasons instead of 4 like it was supposed to. So, I mean, you got to think about, like, well, for me, I'm thinking about it like that, where, like, okay, fans will probably show up, yes. But how many fans of Aang are there really nowadays? Not too much, because they kind of destroyed the fan base as time went on, and they kind of suck. So we kind of need to roll the red carpet out a little bit. I think this show would be great for the streaming, and then eventually we get to obviously I don't even think Aang is gonna make it to the silver screen. It'll probably be a different Avatar at that time, but I mean at that point we would be a little bit more invested in the whole lore and everything like that. Which, I mean, we gotta also be honest, how can we be invested in the whole lore when Korra decided to destroy it all?
Anyways. Oh my fuck, dude! Come on, you know what? We're just gonna take a poll. We're gonna take a poll and put this up on our socials. Y'all can follow us at the FilmBros Podcast, because I am not gonna let this slander slide. Korra was great.
I'd say it wasn't the last 2 seasons.
Shut up.
Yeah, you can't deny.
I like the last 2 seasons. What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying. So the last 2 seasons were really good.
The first season was really good too. The only one that I think was whack was second season.
Probably, yeah, okay.
But 1, 3, and 4 were pretty fucking good. I don't know. I don't agree. I just don't agree with you, bro. I think this movie would fucking thrive in the box office. You sound exactly like a sleeper paramount guy. You know what I mean? Pushing their propaganda.
I'm a sleeper agent. No, I'm not pushing propaganda. I'm just trying to make it make sense, right?
Like
Because it's kind of like K-pop Demon Hunters, right? It's like if you saw that was popping or whatever and you didn't put it back in the theaters, then yeah, you're messing up, right? But they put it on streaming for a reason. It was a risk. That movie was a risk, and then it blew up, and then they said, okay, we'll put it in the box office. Same thing could happen to Aang. It could be a risk, and it blows up on Paramount Plus. There's so many people watch it. They say, okay, we're gonna give it a limited release on big screen or whatever, right? And then we could get to that point. But I do think Aang and the gang have something to prove right now, right? I don't think they're in the public eye and as favorable as people would, you know, make them. I would watch it. I'm going to watch it. Me as a fan, yes, I'm going to watch it. But will the general audience? Probably not. Not at this day. No. I think you'd get more people to watch Demon Slayer before you'd watch anybody go watch Aang.
You have no faith. You have no faith, and you sound like.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
It
You
sound
telling
like
me
it sound yes.
you yourself, and you're a Demon Slayer fan. Demon Slayer and Aang are releasing on the same day, God damn it! And they said, hey, you could only get one ticket. Who you watching?
I'm gonna go see Aang.
That's a cap. You're gonna watch
I like
Demon Slayer.
no. I like Demon Slayer, but no, not as much as I like the Avatar universe and what this movie is specifically.
Okay. All right, you got me there. But I am saying what I say still stands, I think. So.
Oh my goodness, you're such a hater. You're just a hater.
I'm not hating. I wanted to succeed, and you know what? If anything, I'm doing it a favor by not sending it out there to fail. Okay, I'm giving it a chance. I'm saying we should give it a chance to build, and then when it's truly strong and ready, put it out there to face the masses. But you just want to, as a preemie baby, you just want to put it out there and just see if it can survive. No, it's gonna get slaughtered. Okay, it's gonna get slaughtered out there. You gotta give it a chance. Give it some walking legs, 100%. Let us know what you guys think, though. Does Aang deserve to be on the silver screen, The Last Airbender, The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender, or should it be on Paramount Plus streaming site? Now, I will just say that right now too. I don't believe anything should be on Paramount Plus site. Okay, like let's just be honest. Like their streaming service sucks balls. Okay, if they put this out on streaming, I don't even know if I could watch it. Okay, it's gonna be kind of hard. I'm gonna have to do some cheat codes and shit to even get to this movie. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking
hopefully
weird.
by then they merge and hopefully they take some notes from HBO Max's fucking streaming service because holy shit. But let us know what you guys think. Moving on though, like I said, being on Paramount side is probably not the most favorable, especially as of right now. Paramount has been hiring a lot of people that has had questionable past for show. And we obviously we don't know 100% if it's true or not, but for the most part, questionable nonetheless, right? And so one of these questionable people decided it was their task to basically reboot the G.I. Joe franchise. And the trades are eating this up, which I think is crazy because I've been doing this for a couple of years and we don't get reports on treatments that often. Okay, we get reports on production if something has a fallen out or whatever. A treatment of a script is basically like turning in what would be like the rough draft of what they basically outline the movie to be, right? And like I said, this is kind of like a pitch. They kind of bring it in and they say, hey, this is kind of like what it's looking like and what do we think? Variety's blowing Paramount a new asshole for some reason, right? And basically going ahead and blasting one of their people that they hired, which has a questionable past, Max Landis, basically saying that Paramount is passing on his treatment of the new G.I. Joe reboot. Like I said, this is probably nothing. This happens all the time. But for me, a headline about somebody who has a questionable past, who was rehired by Paramount to redo a franchise, and they're being blasted all over the place, it got to tell me there's a little bit of animosity right there for sure. But what do you think about G.I. Joe not getting a reboot from Max Landis?
I think that's probably because the the duo that they said between what's his name? Um the dude from fucking the one that's always working on those comedy movies. What's his name?
Danny McBride.
Yeah, Danny McBride and the other guy are basically working together to make their another movie or G.I. Joe movie. So they can't have two floating ones, you know what I mean?
Oh, that is true.
So maybe they turned this one down and then yeah, immediately threw shade at this guy because of his past too. So
Yeah.
they were probably like, we gotta let them know that not only is this problematic, but we are also getting another script on the other side. So
Right. Danny McBride, you're right. Danny McBride is supposed to turn in another script. We did talk about that as well. I mean, that is another thing too, right? Like, we could have all turned in these treatments or these rough drafts or whatever, handed him over, and it could have been hushity hush. But they just blast this man all over. Like when Danny McBride turns one in, is he gonna get a little blasted too? Are we gonna hear his shit? His shit's not going
no,
through too.
no, they're probably gonna give him the green light because he's more renowned and doesn't have a troubled past.
And he's been
So
kind of doing a little bit more with, like, obviously writing and doing.
yeah,
I think he
yeah,
was a
yeah.
writer on Romulus too, right?
Yeah.
He was a writer
Mhm.
there. I think he also helped write the new Halloween movies too. So I mean, he's been kind of dabbling in horror and all that stuff too. So I mean, he kind of seems like the guy to do it. But Variety, I don't know if Variety is too fond of Paramount. We might have a nice spot where all the dirty laundry is going to be aired out for sure. So
Right.
we'll have that. But yeah, a GI Joe treatment is basically in the works right now. We're waiting on something like that. Obviously, we still have those Transformers and GI Joe spin-off movie that is supposed to happen. But Paramount has been kind of going in there and retooling a few things, like that last Ronin movie. That's not happening anymore, at least for right now, until they relaunch the IP in the way that they want it to. So I mean, a lot of things are happening over there in Paramount. I don't really see uh, definitive news and probably like actual things to get excited for till maybe middle of the summer or possibly until the deal closes in September, October. So I mean, we probably got a whole year of Paramount just basically on stall until we get something, some really good stuff. Other than that, we do got
Right.
movies coming from them, but still, we are waiting to see what the new leadership is going to do because all these movies seem to still be from old leadership. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with that. But Paramount is looking, but just to no avail. We'll have to wait to see what happens with that. Let us know what you guys think. Max Landis, is he a fan favorite in your book, or do you think that his questionable past is also a reason why he should not even be getting jobs or anything like that as well? Go look him up. We've talked about him before in an old episode. But yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with him and probably Danny McBride. So I think Josh has a point. Maybe we will just go with his script regardless, just because of the name tag in itself. So we'll have to wait and see. Moving on though, James Gunn's Supergirl. All right, here we are. The DCU is taking off, or probably crash landing. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens as it goes down. But one of the things that's kind of being looked at with the lens of of a a worried grandmother, right? Like, will it work? Supergirl is being kind of looked at as this pricey risk. Warner Brothers is looking at, at this movie with a red flag, according to Puck News, saying that that its 2026 slate is escalating, and they're describing a few movies, not just the Supergirl movie, as a pricey risk. Right, a few of those kind of came into mind, especially because I guess one of the main reasons that kind of got this ball rolling was the flop that was The Bride with Maggie Gyllenhaal, and Jake Gyllenhaal, and Christian Bale was also in there as well. The Bride did not do as phenomenal as Warner Brothers was hoping for. So Puck did note that there is several films that are apparently coming out this year, that are very much at risks to possibly just being downright flops. A few of those kind of include, which, like I said, Supergirl, Tom Cruise's Digger, J.J. Abrams' The Great Beyond, and a couple other ones that are not being named as of right now because there is no trailers for them and or have not even been released yet publicly. So, I mean, who even knows if those movies might get pushed back? Kind of like Mickey 17, right? You kind of see how the waters are going, and then if, like, you need to change some things or whatever, you push the movie back, Well, that could possibly happen with a few of these films. But for the most part, Tom Cruise's name was put in there. We obviously had J.J. Abrams as well. But one notable one that we're going to obviously talk about because it's the most shaky of them all has to be James Gunn's Supergirl. This is one of the ones that has been in the mud since the moment that the first trailer basically dropped. Some people hated her portrayal in Superman, where they were just like, "Oh wow, she's just drunk. She's just drunk again," right? The trailer for her movie shows no different. A lot of people are comparing that to Guardians of the Galaxy, basically saying that James Gunn ghost directed the film, obviously. So I mean. Obviously, I think between me and you, I think we've already saw this movie as the risk that it's supposed to be. But we saw it as a risk for, obviously, if box office flops, we know that the movie's not doing good. But I thought, past the box office, I thought the reception of this movie was just going to be poor. I thought a lot of people are going to kind of look at it and just be like, this is another James Gunn film, as always. And that eventually... I think it was gonna do if around Superman 25, probably a little bit less than that, maybe like around the 400 million range, and we would have just closed the book and been like, okay, this franchise was very much just James Gunn's doing, and we could close the chapter on this book and just kind of keep moving forward. Now it's kind of getting to the point where Warner Brothers is kind of stepping in and saying, hey, this movie don't look like it's going to be selling a lot of tickets, right? It's not just chalking up to one department at this point. I think levels are basically looking at this as the risk that it's supposed to be looked at. So, I mean, I don't know. I like I said, I don't think our position kind of moves. I think that this is something that we've kind of looked at it from this way, but it's good to hear the trades talking about it. What do you think?
Yeah, fucking finally, dude. It makes no sense that we're like we're the ones kind of being like, well, we don't know if this is gonna work. They're taking a risk on a character that hasn't seen the big screen since the fucking 90s.
I think the last time you seen her was on CW.
Well, yeah, that's why. That's TV. You know what I mean? And she was, that show wasn't exactly the greatest. But yeah, no, I don't know. This is the thing. This movie is just branded differently. It clearly feels like a Guardians kind of remix again. Uh, I don't know. I think the fact that they're finally talking about it though does kind of feel nice.
It does.
WB should have been worried from the jump, but yeah.
But, Supergirl, I do think she has some kind of name to herself where she can hold her own. But it's not going to be nearly enough like Superman, especially like I said, Superman 25 barely had that nudge, right? And now not only do we have Supergirl or whatever in the mix, but we're also getting reports of other things that are supposed to be happening in this DCU, right? James Gunn's wife basically coming out and thanking the new head of Paramount, saying that they're going to be owning us soon. And then even moving even further to where when Man of Tomorrow comes out, revealing that multiple casts from Superman are going to be basically showing up there. And Aaron Pierre is basically going to be showing up for this Superman sequel as well. Paramount is basically, in my opinion, especially after what we heard from Jennifer Holland at the Saturn Awards, like I said, she basically came out, thanked everybody, and then thanked Paramount as well because she, in her own words, they're probably going to own us soon as well, I guess. So a lot of this, we kind of heard the rumors and everything. Is we're going to kind of bring this up a little bit, and then we'll kind of discuss how we feel about these castings and all that stuff. But the DCU is no more, in my opinion, right? It is now the Superman saga. James Gunn himself has called it that himself. It's the Superman saga. Man of Tomorrow seems to be the ultimate end game for what basically the Superman saga is supposed to be. And a lot of the people from the shows are going to be coming in and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. Real quick, Josh, how do you feel about Man of Tomorrow being the end game of the DCU?
If that's potentially the end game, bro, what a shortly lived universe. Crazy I got to live through the DC reboot twice. You know what I mean? I guess we can live knowing that we won't have to sit through a fucking Aquaman 2 or Shazam 2 or a Wonder Woman 2. Like, fucking,
We're
like,
just
I guess
cutting
we,
it off early. We're just cutting it.
you're right.
We're doing it quick. Um,
Yes.
I mean the same thing as well. I've lived to see two DC universes basically just burn. Probably the rebirth of an old one. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But for the most part, I mean, like I said, James Gunn has been very uncertain about his future. Um, the shit, even WBD has been uncertain about where they were going to sell to at one point, right? So, I mean, all this stuff is going to basically come to a head um, in Man of Tomorrow, not just on screen, but off screen as well, right? Like, we're going to get a bunch of either the box office is going to flop or the reception is not going to be good to this movie and it's going to be a change up. Something's going to happen at the end of this, and it's not going to be the same. Either DCU is going to end or I think John Campea, when we saw him the last time, he basically said he could bow out and say, hey, I did the foundation, now you guys do the rest. That could be something as well. So who knows when it comes down to James Gunn and the DCU's journey and where it's going to be. But Man of Tomorrow adding Aaron Pierre after getting a trailer where it basically didn't acknowledge Guy Gardner and kind of seemed like a self-isolated show. Uh, he is now going to be written into Man of Tomorrow. And like I said, we have people like Jimmy Olsen, right? The popular characters that we all want to see in Man of Tomorrow, right? We got Jimmy Olsen going to be coming back. Hot Girl's gonna probably come back. Mr. Terrific, maybe Guy Gardner, but we haven't even heard of him apparently in Lantern, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with him. You get Supergirl probably, Superman. You're gonna see Peacemaker. Don't get it twisted. We're gonna see some Peacemaker in there too. Man of Tomorrow sounds like it's going to be that fucking movie. So, Josh, how excited are you to see your favorite characters come back for Man of Tomorrow?
I'm really not. like, like I don't care about any of these people. I
Jimmy
didn't care
Olsen,
about Superman. No, don't care.
Hawk Girl,
Don't care.
Mission
I mean,
Terrific,
I think she's attractive, but that's outside the point.
the monkeys.
No,
Oh,
the monkeys. Nah, man, I don't give a fuck about any of these characters. I'm sorry. There has not been a reason for me to care. I don't care. I haven't seen anything worth even investing in their stories, let alone lanterns. And I know this motherfucker only announced this right after James Gunn. I mean, after James Gunn, after Zack Snyder put up his Green Lantern post.
I
So
seen that and I wanted to bring it up, but I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to seem like Snyder people like that. But you did,
he's
and
petty.
I
No, no, no.
appreciate that.
I agree that he's petty as fuck. That's
So
okay.
you think that was like a real vindictive thing?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
He doesn't do anything unless he's trying to build hype or generate hype. And yes, let me announce that my underwhelming Lanterns show trailer is gonna lead into Man of Tomorrow, where you might get him wearing the ring and doing green shit and all that stuff, and poke out another eye.
Yeah, you'll
Who
get a
cares?
nice green
Who
aura
cares?
with it too.
Yeah, yeah. Who cares, man? Who cares?
So I mean, this is the guy. This is fucking not Hal Jordan. This is John Stewart right here.
Yeah, and I like Jon Stewart, but no, not like this. Not like this. I need to see something more.
So I mean, does the lack of know Hal Jordan kind of worry you a little bit? Do we think he's gonna die in Lanterns or something?
I'm pretty sure he's either gonna die, he's gonna retire, or shit, man. He's probably gonna turn evil. He turns evil in every comic run, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine without a Western fucking cop like Hal Jordan, bro. We'll be fine.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so the Superman saga, not even the DCU, the Superman saga seems to be accumulating up unto to the become this big end game type scenario here with Man of Tomorrow. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens with that. Like I said, your favorite characters are returning. Yes, yes, the ones that you haven't seen yet, like Aaron Pierre's Green Lantern, and like you know, I mean Jimmy Olsen. Like I said, I think people care about. But I mean, the dumb Lex's girlfriend will probably make a return. She will probably be there. We will probably hear the return of 1A. 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 Press down on the D pad. I don't know.
Such a stupid ass thing, bro. How are you delivering fucking line of code to a goddamn robot faster than Superman can react to? That's stupid. I can't. Let's get off of this topic, bro. I can't.
Okay. All right. All right. A little drive by. You got to hit with a couple strays there by Josh, but that's okay. That's okay. We didn't need to spin the block on them. Okay. We were just kind of just having a conversation, and he just was like,
Just do,
"Desk
just do it
pop,
for the love of the game.
desk pop, desk pop, desk pop." Moving on. Netflix has decided to put the money from the Paramount WBD deal and decided to just funnel that 2.8 billion, 600 million of that to Ben Affleck's AI startup company. What is that? Apparently, Ben Affleck is going to start using AI tools to help develop the new what would be the new way of filmmaking, right? Where you had tons and tons of money to basically CGI Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci to look young again, and thousands of man hours. You know what happened with that movie? That movie was basically supposed to be Warner Brothers movie, and they said, "Hey, this is way too much money. The CGI De Niro and Joe Pesci is too much." So they sold the movie to Netflix, and what did Netflix do? They fronted that money up and said, "We are going to make this." Now, does it look kind of dog shit? A little bit, but what do you expect when the whole movie is all CGI De Niro and Joe Pesci? It is what it is. This AI is supposed to eliminate that cost and kind of help with the movies. Obviously, deepfake with AI has been kind of like a thing and what people have been talking about. We talked about it a couple episodes ago as well when Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt were basically fighting over Epstein's Island, right? Like that was just what the fuck. But now apparently Ben Affleck is doing it the right way, right? Instead of doing the things the illegal way with the illegal AI, Ben Affleck's going to turn AI into a legitimate business and use it to basically craft the new era of filmmaking, which obviously we've been seeing has used a lot of CGI to de-age people, right? Luke Skywalker, we don't even get a recasting; we just get a CGI face of a Luke Skywalker and stuff. So in my opinion, I think this is smart. I think Ben Affleck did something smart. He started up his own company that's going to help the future of filmmaking in every way. Now, you shook hands with the devil, Affleck. You took it to Netflix instead of taking it to like a WBD or like a Disney or like a Paramount Plus. Like I don't know, you give it to Netflix now. Like upsides, they are like I said, what they did with that De Niro movie, they probably have the balls to risk it a little bit more than the rest of these companies. So that's why Netflix probably was able to come up with it a little bit easier. But I don't know. What do you think about Ben Affleck starting this AI company and getting bought out by Netflix?
I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. I don't agree. I think Ben Affleck is. I guess if anyone's gonna do it, it should be him. But I think no one should do it, and let alone I still don't think Ben Affleck of all people should be doing it because what the fuck? Oh, you pioneer the shit. You pioneer the goddamn Matt Damon. You pioneer these movies from the ground up, and then now you're just throwing your shit away for AI. Get no. I'm sorry, no. I can't. I don't agree.
I mean, AI is the new wave, though. I told
It's
you, like,
not.
you could
It's
fight
not.
it. A couple years ago, people were scared of it, but now it's upon us, and it's just something that, like, James Cameron is gonna start using AI pretty soon. He's gonna use AI to make Avatar and all that stuff. I mean, obviously, he'll still use motion capture for certain things, but I do think like AI is gonna basically cut the cost of a lot of whatever he's doing when it comes to those movies. You know, I feel like we'll get a lot big when once this AI entity. All right, this AI entity, right? Once it's tamed, I think we're gonna get some really cool, not only movies, but like documentaries. Like I don't know if you've seen that Netflix documentary about the dinosaurs and all that stuff. It feels a little AI. I ain't gonna lie, it's a little like artists did it, but it feels like a little AI was kind of integrated into that a little bit. But for the most part, like it's cool. It doesn't feel bad. I think once we get to that point where kind of what Ben Affleck's doing, taming it, and we could use it to basically make movies look good, but without having like the whole cost with it, I think we're gonna get really good fucking movies out of it. Like we don't need to recast people after that. We don't have to do any of that. Like kind of like what James Earl Jones did. He basically signed over his voice to Vader forever, and he's passed away. Now we can easily make Vader movies with his voice, no problem. It does sound a little off. I think in Rogue One, was it Rogue One? No, it was in the Ben
No.
Kenobi one, right? It was in the Obi-Wan Kenobi one, where he sounded a little weird, like a little
Well,
wonky.
that was because it was Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, using the AI voice though, right? And it's like it still was kind of it didn't sound like James Earl Jones. It was Hayden Christensen under an AI voice. And I mean, you could like it, you could hate it. It weird for me? Yeah, it was weird. But I mean, at the same time, for the younger generation, they're not gonna know the difference. They're just gonna hear the voice patterns, and it's gonna be easy for them, right? And they're gonna be like, oh yeah, AI. That's something that probably started when this show came out, and here we are now. We can make whole, Robert De Niro or no Bruce Willis. Let's say he's not passed away, but like if he were to pass away 5 years down the road, we can make uh, a new fucking Die Hard movie and just have him have a cameo where he just says "Yippee ki
Oh, man. I just can't get behind it, bro.
You're just scared of the AI.
I'm not scared of AI. I think AI fucking sucks. It's
You
bad for
mustn't
the
be
planet.
scared of the AI. You
It's
must
bad for the
embrace the
planet.
AI.
It's bad for the planet, and it takes away from real
Bad for the
artists. That's
planet. What
it.
the hell are we doing? Choking out turtles with AI? What the hell are we
You
doing?
don't see how much water this shit affects and takes to build and do shit with?
AI? I
Yes.
thought that was on the internet.
No,
You
it's
can put water
bad.
into
It's bad.
AI?
It's like their plants are connected, like their plants and how they mass produce AI and all that stuff. It's all connected to it's bad for the planet.
This seems like a tinfoil hat theory.
Oh my. No, it's not.
This sounds like the same one where they're like, oh shit, you throw a fucking straw in the ocean and it chokes out a turtle. How does that happen? Tell
Oh my
me
god.
tell me how it just fucking wraps around its neck. And like I feel like these turtles do it to themselves. They're just like, "Thank you for the rope, sir." And they just do what they got to do. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
goodness.
I don't know.
It, data centers and AI training consume massive amounts of energy, often from fossil fuels and water for cooling. A single query or image generation uses far more electricity than traditional searches, contributing to rising carbon emissions and electronic waste.
Oh my god. Okay. So, the servers get too hot, so you need to produce more water to basically cool down the servers, and that's basically what happens. I mean, they're not necessarily using water. It's just when you have something, it's kind of like if you have a house, right? Like when nobody's living in it, it doesn't use up money. But then when people use it and it gets hot and you need the AC or the heater, you're obviously gonna use money and resources. AI is no different. They take servers, they take storage space, it gets hot, and then eventually you need to cool it off with some water. It's not gonna destroy the ozone layer. We're not gonna get choked
What do
in the
you mean? That's a
turtles.
lot of fucking
We're not
water,
gonna.
bro.
That's
What are
just
you
water
talking
to
about?
cool off. It's
A
just water
single
to.
generative AI text query consumes energy at 4 or 5 times more the magnitude of a typical search engine request. So if I'm using Google, yes, it's still bad. But if you're using AI to do it, you are fucking up a lot of stuff. That is bad for the earth and the environment, bro.
About zero point 0.3 watts on a typical request. A typical generative AI request like ChatGPT consumes zero point 0.3 watts. So that means that a regular request probably only puts out zero point 0.1 watt. Are we really saying that AI is going to destroy the world off zero point 0.2 plus zero point 0.2 watts?
If you're using it for everything, it's obviously going to grow in size. That's the thing.
Amen. Amen. And the crop circles were made by Gandhi. I don't know what else to tell you, dude.
Oh my
I don't know
goodness,
what else
bro.
to tell you.
I say fuck Ben
look.
Affleck.
Look.
That's what I say.
Keep your tinfoil hat theories over there. I'm just
I
saying what
I
I
say
like
fuck Ben
about
Affleck.
what I like about AI is what they could do with the movie business. I'm not worried about the wattages that come with it. That's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is that what we could do with AI. Obviously, we talked about the bad, right? We talked about the AI can easily be manipulated. Obviously, that I think at one point, and this is something that I kind of want to do a little bit of digging before I kind of speak on it. So I'll say the headline, but we're not gonna really discuss it too deep because I don't know too much. But like, Rebel Wilson's PR team was apparently plotting to take down a producer by lying. And I think one of the headlines actually said that they were going to use AI to basically fake some of the stuff or whatever. Like they were actually plotting. Like I said, I don't want to go too deep into it because it's all alleged, and I need to do a little bit more digging into it. But that's like the downsides to AI. Like you could use the things for whatever, but the good side would say like Ben Affleck gets to the age of like 60, he needs to play an old self of him of whatever in a role, and then he needs to play a younger self of himself. AI would make that a little bit more cheaper than what we would have to do with like CGI and dots and all that stuff and whatever, despite the zero point 0.3 wattages that it needs to take to fucking just make it happen. Okay, my bad.
Fuck Ben Affleck and fuck AI for all this shit.
We're fucking ripping a hole through the ozone layer. Holy shit. I'm sorry. Jeez. The moon is going to come crashing down because of AI.
So okay, fine. I guess if you ignore, which you shouldn't, if you ignore the goddamn problems to the earth, what do you have to say about the creatives? What do you have to say about the creatives and like the CGI workers and all that stuff that are just gonna go out of business?
Well, that's what I'm telling you too. That's another thing. That's all collateral to what like AI is going to basically do to the industry. That's what I'm saying. Like that's all the AI is ravaging through the industry right now, right? That collateral damages is like, we're getting what people deem to be better uses of like visual storytelling than what we've gotten from Hollywood in years. Everything's collateral right now. But if Ben Affleck's company can tame that, like I'm saying, like tame it and be able to, to to just make sure that from here on out there's rules and laws and the way that you're gonna kind of like do that. Eventually, we'll be able to tame AI, and it's not gonna be, oh, they're using it for this, they're doing it for that, boom, 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 boom. It's all gonna be for like good ethical practices as it should be. That's why like all that stuff right now, until we tame it and use it for the obviously the right reasons. Obviously, there are going to be people using it for that. Obviously, there are going to be people using it for this. Obviously, there's going to go over there. But we need to make sure that AI is kind of like funneled into a place where like people could use it freely, but like in a way that is productive.
Oh man.
And I do think this is kind of like in the right. I always said it even in the beginning too. AI is not something you could fight. That shit's gonna be integrated into everything. Motherfuckers can't even send a text message nowadays without Chat GPT, and it's only been around for 2 years.
That's
People,
wrong.
people get dependent on like the things that make it easier because it makes life easier. So I mean, it's only gonna be embraced even more. I mean,
Those
if
basement dwelling shut-ins, bro, we don't they don't deserve to be fucking talked about like they're the highest norm of society. No, they're shut-ins with no friends
what are you
and
talking
they're
about?
talking to a robot.
There's it's not robots. There's tons of people that use Chat GPT because I ain't gonna lie. Some people just don't know how to type. Some people just don't know how to speak. Some people just don't know whatever. Chat GPT just makes it easier for some people. It is just how it is. That's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously you don't use it as often in your day to day, but I mean, if you use Google, that's a form of AI already. You're Googling stuff to figure out things as it is, and it is what it is. People use stuff all the time, and I think that this is going to be very productive. Now, do I think them selling it to Netflix is a problem? Yeah, kind of. Did you see the RIPD, the RIP, whatever the fuck,
The rip.
the Rip? Yeah, I saw that movie Rip one. I
Yes,
saw
we
it Rip
saw
one
it.
in
We
my
saw
face
it.
for
We
sure.
saw it. We did a review on it, and that's the kind of shit I can expect Netflix to produce with Ben Affleck's fuck ass AI
Yeah,
company.
so there
That's
you
that's
go.
it,
I
point blank.
I would say that's the downside right there, right? Like that's Ben Affleck's figuring out a way to kind of use it for good, and Netflix is gonna totally just abuse that shit and use his licensing and everything and kind of hide behind it. Uh, I give it about like a year and a half before him and Netflix have like a falling out about it. So we'll see. We'll have to wait and
Yeah,
see.
yeah. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. Um, moving on. Michael Sarnowski is on a short list to potentially direct the new Romulus sequel. After Fede Alvarez decided to bow out and a bunch of rumors on why he is not returning, we are on the hunt for a new director. Apparently, Michael Sarnowski is basically making that short list. Fede Alvarez is still going to remain a producer, but is no longer going to be directing the film. Rumors and speculations have come out because of this. Obviously, one of those speculations is that Fede Alvarez didn't want to make another movie without one of his cast members being there, being the synthetic android. I forgot what his
Other
name
character,
was.
what's the name?
David Johnson. Apparently, David Johnson couldn't reprise his role, and because of that, apparently Fede Alvarez was saying that he did not want to come back because of that. Even though as soon as the movie released, he did say in the beginning that he was just not coming back, point blank, period. Uh, there was a rumor. I think it came from My Time to Shine. Hello, so I mean, take it as you will. Saying that apparently Fede Alvarez wanted to use Michael Fassbender's character in the sequel, but was shut down super hard by Ridley Scott. So super hard, like fuck no type shit, like don't touch my shit type shit. And so it made Fede Alvarez just be like, well, if I can't make the movie I want, I'm walking away. And so he walked away, stayed as a producer, and now they're on the hunt for a new director who will do the movie that the execs want while also trying to be true to the art that made the Romulus so special. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but it is what it is. Those two were rumors, but at least right now, Michael Sarnowski, he made A Quiet Place Day One. He might be helming the next Alien sequel. So
No, I like day one. That's okay. I don't mind that. That's a pretty good pick. Um, fuck. I mean, I guess if Romulus is Fede Alvarez's only film, and that's like probably my favorite of the franchise, I'm okay with a one and done from him. I do think it's kind of fucked up that um Ridley was probably like, "Don't touch my shit," you know what I mean? But then
mm-hmm.
it's like, well, when are you gonna get back to doing your shit? You know, so other people don't have to worry about where the fuck he is. You know.
Right.
But other than that, like. Yeah, no, I guess it's fine. I mean, if Michael Sarnowski does it, I liked A Quiet Place Day One. I thought the movie was really good.
Yeah, and to be honest, with this whole hunting for a director, I mean, I feel like Aliens is a franchise that you need to kind of have some momentum behind it, especially with like its wonky timeline and stuff. And this pursuit for a new director, and I feel like it's hurting the franchise a little bit more. I wonder if Ridley Scott's gonna come back to do another Prometheus movie.
I would hope. I would hope.
I want him to
I think
finish
the
it. That'd be
yeah,
nice.
the only thing holding this franchise up right now is the fact that we might see him fight a predator at some point and alien Earth. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, they did kind of in Romulus. I mean, and that's why it's also kind of like my favorite. It didn't shy away from like showing the black goo and all that stuff. So I mean, it is showing you that Ridley Scott's. I mean, this is Ridley Scott's universe, but like his Prometheus universe is also living within this universe, right? Which we already knew that since Prometheus, but I mean, obviously, I think when we both walked in, we were kind of curious whether or not they were going to acknowledge, Prometheus and Alien Covenant and all that stuff, right? Like, or if they were just going to follow that alien timeline or whatever. And the fact that they did really does give leeway for Fede Alvarez to go ahead and use Michael Fassbender. But I mean, if that's what's happening, then I understand why he kind of wants to walk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would say that that's grounds to use that motherfucker too, but I'm just glad that we got to see the black goo and we got to see a monster created by the black goo. Like I thought that shit was great. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeesh, the engineer mixed with xenomorph DNA was such a chef kiss ending for me
Yeah,
that I was like, all
it
right,
kind of like tied everything in right from like both timelines like perfectly. So I mean, Ridley Scott's being like, "Well, you're not the man who could do it," when he clearly was the guy who kind of did it. Is like, wow, wow, wow. We can ignore the whole drifting in space into a fucking hangar so fucking precisely and shit, right? Like we can ignore that,
right.
but we
No.
cannot ignore the greatness that would have been with Michael Fassbender under David or Fede Alvarez's control. Like that would have been crazy.
Yeah, no. I hope we see him again. I need Ridley Scott to get his shit together.
Hopefully, one of these days he will. But with that, we'll have to move it on. We have to wait for an actual casting. But we're getting closer. We're circling around to a new Romulus director, Romulus sequel director. Hopefully, that does happen sometime soon. Let us know what you guys think. Who do you think should direct it? I mean, really quick too. I mean, doesn't that worry you? He's kind of like a new director. He kind of found his own lane in artistic vision. Now he might be put into a box of a franchise. I mean, that doesn't kind of worry you when it comes down to Michael Sarnowski.
No, because I mean, he has the same. He had to play with the same rules set by John Krasinski and that universe, so I think he does okay.
Oh, that is right. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be all right.
Okay, all right. And good rebuttal. Good last minute rebuttal. Let us know what you guys think, though. Moving on, Josh, we got two trailers. One starring Jake Gyllenhaal and another one starring Whitney Peak. I don't know who that is, but Digimon Hansu is in there, and
Um,
he's the guy who complains about not getting paid. So we'll have to see how this one looks.
yeah,
We'll see.
Hollywood's bitch apparently.
Right. But yeah. Before he gets on any production, he says, "I am Hollywood's bitch." No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Let's jump into this trailer. In the Gray, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. I think Chris Hemsworth is in this one too, but we'll find out right now.
Call Gary.
Oh, wait, I don't think I shared
Yeah.
the audio with you. Give me a second.
Get here, nothing.
Yep. You're right. I got it. I caught myself. All right, let's do it again.
Call Gary into my office. There is a situation here.
I assure you you'd like to listen. The alternative is very expensive.
Gary! Get them out of my office now.
Gary, a moment. There are two versions of how this narrative plays out.
Exhibit A.
Gary waits patiently and quietly by the door.
Exhibit B.
Gary steps forward and you spend the next 6 hours sponging him off the walls. I know which version Gary would prefer. Gary.
Manny Salazar. He's not really the guy you loan $1 billion and expect to see it back.
You think you can recover it?
You know I can. And this job, when mistakes are made, you need insurance. Kids, don't say a word. Follow me. Bronco and Sid will now solve it their way.
Love the shirt.
It's silk.
Of course it is.
I just told you. It's silk.
This is Salazar's island. The police are on payroll. And he has a reasonably experienced private army. Tick every box.
Tick every tuck.
Lube every wheel.
Lick every step.
3, 2, 1.
Range. 300. Weight 275.
Make your mind up.
250. Ram it, Janet.
They work between the moral and the immoral. The black and the white. They operate in the gray.
Show me what you got. I foresee a problem. I am aware that there is a 300-foot deep untraversable ravine, but if you give yourself enough runway, build up some speed, and flap your arms like so,
It should take the bump out of the landing.
Guy Ritchie and Henry Cavill are like magic together. And then like, you know, it's kind of like Jason Statham and David Ayer, right? And like, you know, you just see a director and a actor and the duo, and you're just like, wow, it's crazy. You know, you know, Guy Ritchie is hiring his friends now, and I think Henry Cavill is his friend. I think 100%.
Yeah. I could combine this. That looked pretty fun.
It looked good. It looked really good. Fucking Jor-El and fucking Superman are reuniting on the big screen. It's nice.
It is nice. I'm down for this. This is good.
I'm down. I'm down. Henry Cavill looks really good. I wish he was still Superman. He looks like Superman, dude. Man. The closest thing we're getting to Man from U.N.C.L.E. sequel. Well, yeah. I like Man from U.N.C.L.E. too. Yeah, that's another Guy Ritchie film as well. But no, I think this is more like. I think this one felt more like. Oh well, yeah. It's like a Man from U.N.C.L.E. and the Ministry of Ungentlemanly like Warfare that we kind of watched a couple years ago. Like this one feels like a good merger in between, and that's what we're basically getting.
Right. I can get behind that.
I don't know if you've seen A Man from U.N.C.L.E., but that's a good movie too. That's a good movie from Guy Ritchie and Henry Cavill's in there. That was like, I think he made that one when he was like a couple years after he made Man of Steel. So he was kind of young in that one too.
Yeah. Oh man, so good. I can't wait.
That's his Bond audition tape. That was his Bond audition tape. 100% Bond audition tape. Yeah. If he wasn't so young. But let us know what you guys think. Check out the trailer. In the Gray. It looks fun. Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal. First of all,
your arms like untraversable.
They operate.
Give me a second. What's her name? It's her. Eliza?
Yeah.
Eliza Gonzalez. Yeah, I like her. I liked her in Ambulance.
Okay.
With Michael Bay. I love Michael Bay.
Yeah, her and Jake Gyllenhaal were in the Ambulance. That's right.
Oh, they both were in Ambulance. That's right. I love them both. I love the drone shots, Michael Bay. Yes, sir. Can't wait to see him back in Transformers. Yes, sir. Let us know if you guys think. Check out the trailer. Moving on, we got Thrash, like I said, starring Whitney Peak and Digimon Hansu. Yeah. Let's see. Josh, you can't make a joke until the trailer's over. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's coming in fast. Must be a big one.
The National Hurricane Center has issued hurricane surge warnings for this area.
Just breathe.
They're saying it could be a Category 5.
That's what they always say, and then everything turns out to be fine.
Jesus Christ.
Lisa, get your high ground! Go, go!
Several towns are cut off from any rescue attempts. We're sending our prayers to the people of those towns. I can't imagine the dangers they're facing.
There's no people, no car.
Just a little bit of work.
Sharks on the loose! In the Category 5 storm! Let's move!
Push! I am not gonna have him die before he gets to take his first breath. Here they come! Bet you never saw this on Shark Week.
Alright, this is a Netflix movie. A Netflix movie. A Netflix.
Wait, were they singing fucking Baby Shark?
That's what it sounded like. It sounded like do 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 do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard that? I was about to comment on it too. This was just Crawl, but with sharks.
This was just sharks, man. What the fuck?
You've never
Yeah,
seen
man,
the
let's
movie
flood the
Crawl?
city.
You've never seen the movie
I
Crawl?
saw the trailers. I didn't see the movie itself.
Yeah, you didn't. Dog shit movie, dog shit concept. Netflix copy and pasted it. Just said, hey, maybe sharks will make it a little more interesting. No.
Wasn't that one like a mutated crocodile or whatever?
Yeah, it was a mutated crocodile.
Yeah,
Or maybe
these
a
are just
regular
regular ass sharks.
Yeah.
That's lame, bro.
This is for
Yeah,
Netflix.
Netflix. Holy fuck, Netflix, please.
Digimon Hansu, do better.
Yeah. They need us in the river. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? What the fuck? Oh my god, bro.
Where,
They are stuck in the Category 5. Fuck you. The fuck?
Oh, he's doing his best, though. He's doing his best.
This is his best, and holy shit. Oh my goodness. Hey, I got nothing anymore. I got nothing more to say. That movie looks whack. I
Well,
couldn't.
that's a Netflix movie, so you can watch it for free on Netflix.
Not for free. I'm paying $20
Oh,
for that shit.
you gotta
What do
watch
mean?
for the low price of $20. You can watch this piece of shit. You can watch Thrash. That's what it's called.
Yeah, Thrash. I was like, oh wow, it's about kids drowning in a ravine. Okay, it's like halfway through the trailer, sharks.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
bro.
what I thought too. I thought it was gonna be like, oh, they gotta just survive a Category 5. Okay, like that sounds, kind of like Twister, but this is just a hurricane. That's fine. That sounds like something doable. They're like, no, sharks, and then not just sharks. She's pregnant too, about to have a baby. So it's like Crawl mixed with A Quiet Place, and it's just like, why?
Jaws.
Jaws.
It's like,
Just throw Jaws in there. They're like, what else can we shove in there? What else? Can we just make Sharknado 6 at this point? Like, come on, please.
yeah, man, what the fuck?
But yeah, I don't know. Thrash is gonna be on Netflix April 10th. Check out the trailer. And if you wanna check out the movie, go ahead and check that out too. Josh, are you gonna check it out?
Probably, so we could shit on it for a cool 15 minutes. That's okay.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like fun. Fun. Let us know what you guys think, though. With that being said, though, that's gonna be our last episode. I mean, our last topic of this episode. Any topics we should be talking about? Any movies you want us to review? Do you want to hear your voice on one of these episodes, Josh? Let them know where they can do all that. Talk to us and whatnot.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. Episodes are up again. Hit us up there for news and movies you want us to cover. Press link in the social I just gave you. It's like a Patreon. You subscribe. You have a show code. Really appreciate it. Is there anywhere you get your podcast at FilmBros Podcast? Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcast. Again, wherever you get your podcasts, be part of the conversation. Twitch at FilmBros Podcast. And once all said and done, subscribe to YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.